Welcome to another travel product review. Today we're going to review the Speedboat Ride 360 Thrill and Experience Jet Boat Miami Beach. And before we get started, we'd like to remind you that all our reviews are favorable. What we try to do is put ourselves into the customer who comes across this listing and give feedback of what they might be thinking when they look at your listing on GetYourGuide. We'll take a look at the photos, the images, and the reviews, and then kind of give some feedback on that. We also put a 10-minute timer. We don't try to go past 10 minutes. So let's start that timer now. And let's get started. So the first thing I like to do when I come across the listing is just look at the title. And this one seems a little long. Speedboat Ride 360 Thrill and Experience Jet Boat Miami Beach. And that is a little long. Now, I've studied through school that any title that's too long makes people's eyes tired and they don't want to finish it. So this is a little long. So I would reduce it to Jet Boat Miami Beach or Speedboat Ride Miami Beach. And that's it. And so if you shorten it, the 360 Thrill and Experience, I would remove that part. But that's just what I'm thinking. If I was a customer coming through that, I might have not even read it. Now, before I get started, I also want to say that I look at the pictures to see if the picture supports the title. And before we get started, I see that they have 5 images that were uploaded. So let's take a look at that and see if the pictures support the title and kind of explains the experience to us. So the first thing I'm doing, I'm looking at these pictures. I see some people with their hands up, reminiscent of a roller coaster. Then we click here, we see the jet boats flying across the water. We see it doing some big maneuvers, so it's turning real sharp. That's the 360 part. And then they're taking off again, and then they're getting splashed. Now, the pictures are good. They're nice. The only thing I would mention is a little low. I'd like to see about 13 to 15 images. I think they can have a nice drone shot of the area to include the Miami Beach section. I didn't see any part of that. And that would be one thing that I'd want to mention is that you don't have Miami Beach, you don't have a drone shot of where you're cruising from, and you don't have a check-in or a ticket booth. You don't have a picture of that. So you don't really know what that looks like. And that's what I do when I take a look at the pictures. I'm just thinking in my head, I'd like to see that because you know in the comment section it would come across. Now the next thing I do is I look at the activity provider to see if it kind of matches this. So here it says Miami Tourist Center. Now it just gives me a question, is the Miami Tourist Center, are they a reseller or is that the people who are putting the product and activity on? I don't know, I just have that question. And then I look at the reviews, I see 5 reviews with a 1.8 stars. Now I just kind of go through and I'm just looking at some of the details and I'm gonna read some of the details here. Come aboard this amazing experience at Jet Boat Miami Beach. 30 minutes on a big speedboat powered with 2 Corvette engines. Come and feel the adrenaline today. So at least right here, I know it's 30 minutes long. Now the duration right here, it says 30 minutes. That's good. And a live tour guide. When you're racing around on the water, I'd be curious to know what that tour guide might be sharing. I'm just interested. Now, the next thing I always like to do, and I tell you when you come across a listing on GetYourGuide, go through this section because they might offer something different. This is where they put packages and different offerings. So you always want to come across this. And that's one thing I do is to look at the different price points. I'm also looking to see if there's any discounts between Monday through Friday or versus the weekend. I don't see any. And now I just click on it and I see it's the different times here. Now I would like to see the time somewhere else on this section, somewhere else on this area, so I don't have to click into this portion, so I can see the times listed there. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different times that they offer it, and they offer it every day of the week, and I see the price is $55. Now I'm just going to go through the experiences, and when I'm doing in the experience or the highlight section, I'm looking to see what is it that they share, what's the most important thing, and then I'll glance at the full description. So let's go ahead and click on that. You see 2 Corvette engines on board, I know that's interesting, but to somebody, they won't know if it's one Corvette engine or two Corvette engines, 23 passengers, Millionaire Row sightseeing tour. Now, I know this area pretty well, so I'm not sure that they're going to go through that whole area. So I want to know where they're going. And this is, they also have roller coaster feeling on the water. I like that. 360 spins, that's pretty good. And remember, if you took it off the title, you'd see that right there. Now, the next thing I want to mention is I do these listings often, and I see a lot of people, they upload their product to GetYourGuide, and they never touch it again. And one of the things I notice the most is in this description, they're not formatting the text clearly. And I'm going to point that out, but that's just like a little minor detail. So for fun for everyone, the Jet Boat Miami Beach experience, exhilarating way to take pleasure in the blue waters of Miami Beach. I believe they're in the bay. Come aboard a sleek jet boat for a water tour like no other. Prepare to enjoy an adrenaline pumping high water thrills, 360 spins that can be enjoyed. So, Captain Safe, Millionaire's Mansions with entertaining commentary and fun facts of the rich history. And Jet Boat Miami Beach is truly an unforgettable. So, anytime you're doing like the speedboat portion and you're trying to do a narration, obviously you can't do it at the same time. So I'm always curious how much time spent jet boating and how much time spent narrating. And I would like that to be in there. Just how much time are we spinning around? And then 30-minute speedboat ride, 360 spins, water splashes, fast accelerations, music on board, sightseeing tour around Millionaire Row. Millionaire's Row's big, and then Miami Water, biggest mansions. I'm not sure that that makes sense, and I wish they would go back and kind of tweak and share this. And then a couple other details of where do you arrive, and then that's kind of it. So now the fun section. Now, before I get started, I want to share, I do not represent this company, nor do I represent GetYourGuide. So when I come across these negative reviews, it's simply my opinion about those. And then we'll just give some feedback on those negative reviews. Remember, in the eyes of a customer coming across this listing. And I got 3 minutes left, so let's see if we can go through them all. So bad, they never showed up, waited an hour and a half. Now that's kind of a tough one, right? Because if you see that review and then you don't see a reply to that review, it gives the expectations that will they show up or will they not? So if you book this, this will be very interesting. I would recommend calling them before you go down, just to make sure it's on, or somewhere along the purchasing process, see if you get a phone number and stay in touch with somebody throughout. Text and said was running late, never responded. I waited for somebody to find him. Boat was hooked up. I paid $110. Text, told him I was here again, never responded. It didn't take place. Wouldn't it be canceled? I haven't received my money back. The one thing I know about GetYourGuide is they definitely help you get your money back on refunds. They're another entity. And now these took place back to 2023 November. So, oh, you got 4 stars here. So this is 4 stars, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star. Now, the thing about not showing up, that's hard to explain in a positive light. You need to answer the questions. You need to stay in touch with the customers until they show up. Now, the one thing I would mention is if there is questions whether you're going to operate or not, you should put it somewhere in the description, somewhere in the highlights, somewhere into the section where it says important information, how they can contact you if weather is a factor in going or not. Because in all those negative reviews, they never said if weather was a factor, whether it was too windy, whether it was raining, or something else was going on. And that would be the only other thing that I would kind of mention when I kind of go here, is in that important information section, give them a chance to contact you in case you decide to cancel the tour. And that way, the customer is in a better situation where they're not wasting their time getting to you just to be told it was canceled. And that kind of really does my review of this jet boat Miami Beach. Now, I hope that me going through this gives you an idea. If you're a customer, gives you an idea of things to consider before making the purchase. And if you're the activity provider, then maybe you want to update some of this information so that way the customers can be more informed and they can enjoy your product more. If you found this video helpful, give a like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. And if you're looking to purchase this, I'll put a link in the video's description. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy Miami Beach.